So here we are at the Shackley corporate offices, and the three of us would like to celebrate one of our most valuable leaders and mentors for all of us in Shackley, and that's Dr. Jim Whittam. And so Mark, would you like to give a little, Mark has been, is the Shackley's longest employee, but tell him a little bit.
I've been here 45 years, and we're standing at the memorial tree, Jim Whittam memorial tree. He'll have been gone 20 years coming up in April. And without Jim Whittam in my life, I would not be the guy that I am. He, it just says here, he's a mentor, he's loving, leader, integrity. I mean, all these things, full of wisdom. And he would always tell me, Mark, you can be the fittest guy out there and win the race, but you're an ambassador for Shackley. So make sure you stay healthy. Run with your heart. Your heart doesn't lie. And he would gave me a heart rate monitor. And so I live every day thinking about Jim Whittam, and just so proud to know that he was a big part of my life. So yeah, definitely going to honor him and think about him every single day.
Yeah. Every time I think of Jim, I think of racquetball. We had so much fun getting together, not only playing racquetball, but then we'd go out for dinner afterwards, and he'd always ask questions. What's working? What's good? How can I help? What can I do? I remember also talking to Jim at his house when the internet was really coming into play. And he said, let me show you how it works. Let me show you. He wanted to teach everybody and help everybody. And pretty well brings tears to my eyes when I think of it. Thanks, Jim.
I want to say one more thing, just sort of piggybacking off of that. I didn't know what marathoning was about. Jim was an accomplished marathoner, and he was down in the 2:30 range in marathons, and he'd say, hey Mark, let's go for a run for lunch. And I'm like, okay. And back then I was barely up to 6 miles, and he'd say, we'll just go for a short run. And we're an hour out, and I'm like, hey Jim, I only have an hour for lunch. Just tell them you're with me. What are they going to say? Come on, let's go. And I'm, well, how about Jim, that I'm really tired. I can't hang on much longer. Just draft me. Get behind me. I said, that doesn't work. That only works on bicycles. Come on, let's go. But eventually I got to the point where I was running marathons, and we ended up doing the 100th running of the Boston Marathon, April 15th, 1999, or 96 actually. And yeah, I think every time the Boston Marathon comes on, I'm thinking about Jim Whittam. Sure.
And didn't Jim run that marathon with one lung?
He sure did.
Ran and completed the Boston Marathon on one lung.
Yes, yeah. I have a picture of me toasting with him at the end of that race. It was so much fun. His whole family was with us.
So Jim was the chief science officer, and I know he's a big part of the reason that the science and the integrity of Shackley has had a continuity from Dr. Shackley. And he was also, when he left us, was taken from us early, he was also the CEO of Shackley Corporation. But he was really our inspirational leader. And he is also the one who got me started on the internet. Exactly the same thing. He said, you need to get on the internet. I said, what is the internet? And of course he was way ahead, and I said, well, how do you do it? And so he walked me through how to do it and how to first get started. And so every time we're here at the corporate offices, I really like to celebrate his legacy, his heritage. And I think maybe one of the things that's most empowering to me is look at all of the different signs around here. Maybe we do those on a separate video to walk through them. But what I always say is, if anybody said like 2 or 3 of those things about me, I would be honored. And yet, look at all the things that Jim represented to us. So we're celebrating Shackley's next 100 years, and Jim is very much a part of us.
He's with us.
Cheers, Jim.
He's our, yep.